Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm That Fat Guy, and today is another episode of Fat Chats. I've been really enjoying the time that people have been taking to have a chat with me about their weight loss journey and the ways that they get there. And it really goes to show that there's so many different ways to lose weight, and we all have different motivators in life. So I find it very beneficial to have a chat to blokes like Jared, who is an absolute legend, who is not new to the man shake, but he has lost quite a bit of weight recently. How you doing today, Jared?
Good, mate. And yourself?
Oh, mate, yeah, doing very well. It's a Sunday, beautiful day,
Indeed
surrounded by
it is.
vegetation. You've had a pretty busy weekend, haven't you?
Oh, mate, I've moving workshops with work. Then yesterday, the wife was on a cleaning rampage, and that chewed up a fair bit of the day, helping her clean the house. The kids are home all day, and they just trash the house. And then today, just detailing the new work ute that's, well, not new, secondhand, but new to me, so that we can get it all sign written.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, it's like I find it funny with the whole cleaning the house and the wife on a rampage, because my missus does the same thing. And then like the next day, she's like, "Why is it messy again?" It's like, we have a kid.
I've got four. The eldest one's actually out of home now. He lives 300 metres up the road, but he still comes home and trashes the house. And, not so much at the moment, given the global situation. But, yeah, mate, he comes home and plays with his siblings. And you come home and there's Nerf bullets all through the house because he's been home and had a Nerf gun battle with the kids.
Oh, I love it, mate. Well, mate, you're working hard, mate. You've got four kids. Jeez, they're all at home in homeschooled at the
No,
minute?
so the oldest one, he's 22. Well, he's 22 this year. The second one works at the pub where I met Jared Man. He works in the kitchen. He finished year 12 last year. So then we've got a 15-year-old. He turned 15 on the 27th of this month. And then we've got our 10-year-old. And that's our daughter. So.
Wow, there you go. Good on you, mate. All right. But anyway, so for all those people who don't know you, just tell us a little bit about yourself, Jared.
Okay, so I'm Jared. I'm 39. I've always struggled with my weight. As a kid, I was always stocky. I think I got to about 7 and I discovered food. And then from about the age of 7, I just expanded. Lost a lot of weight around the age of 18, as you do. You normally, you'll probably end up losing some weight around 18 if that's what I found anyway. And then by the time I was 22, I'd stacked on the weight. I'd had some minor accidents. I've had hurt my back and just little minor ones. And then in 2010, I was sitting about 100 kilos. So I was sitting about what I am now. And I had a minor car accident. It was the kind of accident where I was coming down the road and I saw a car coming out of a driveway and I saw her coming. So I've slowed down and she's just pulled straight out. And we've just hit my front left to her front right, but it was enough to jar my back. And that put me off work. I'd already had my back problems from a couple of minor accidents, just, small problems, just young and dumb things like, I used to work in bottle shops. I'd shift pallets with my feet, plant myself down between two pallets.
Geez, yeah.
And then I've got stocky Scottish legs and I'd just shift the pallet with my, all the stupid things you do when you're young. And it caught up to me in 2010 when I had that car accident, put me off work for 3 months. And I put on 30 kilos. I was, that happened just after, so that was in January 2010. So I just turned 29. I was turning 30 at the end of 2010. And that put me off work for 3 months because I wasn't able to do anything. I stacked on 30 odd kilos. And it was a struggle from then on. I ended up slipping 3 discs. I had a bulging disc. I had 2 spurs in my spine from those earlier accidents that they were part of what was giving me problems. They're just bone growths that happen from accidents that, they just sort of grow and they can cause problems. And I've got arthritis in my lower back. So over the years, I've tried to get exercise going. Every time I'd start to feel good, I'd get out, go to the gym. Oh, you're 130 kilos, Jared. You're putting on a bit of weight. It's time to do something about it. And I'd get a gym membership, and I'd get out there, and I'd last a week or two, and then my back would go, and I'd be in pain all over again, and it hurt. And then I'd get myself right. A couple of, a month would go by. I'd get back into doing some fitness, try and all right, you're good again, let's go. And then my back would go. And it wasn't even anything that I was doing. I was just getting on the treadmill. I was getting on just light weights, just the machine. You normally have like a set of 5 or 6 machines in a row that you can work your way down. And it wasn't anything that I was doing wrong as such. It was just the way that my back was. And I couldn't lose the weight. My wife and I were counting calories for a while, and I dropped a little bit, but then, as you know, counting calories, you end up, it's a pain. Yeah. You lose motivation, and I couldn't get rid of the weight.
Counting calories is a really hard way of doing it. It is very something you've got to constantly do this. And I've said it before on this, I don't do that. I don't log my food well. I don't do anything like that. No. But I'm sorry to hear about the issues with your back. And there's such fickle things. Like, I know myself, like if I shift a little bit, something is lightning bolt through my back. So I can't imagine what it'll be like slipping a few discs and such. Like, you would have had to have been on some pretty heavy physio after.
Physio. So I when it first happened, I was on aqua physio, because I couldn't walk properly. Like at one stage there, I was on OxyContin, was the painkillers that I was on.
Wow.
The stuff they call hillbilly heroin. And I wasn't abusing them, but I did start to get addicted to them. And just because I was on them for 3 months, and you do find that your body gets. That's why the doctors, you need a script for them, because you can get addicted to them. And I remember my wife actually, I couldn't walk. I was in pain. I couldn't walk. I decided not to have my tablet because I was getting withdrawals, and so I decided not to, because I knew I was getting addicted to them. I couldn't walk, and I was getting dizzy. My wife carried me on her back to the toilet.
Wow. How do you? Whoa! What? Like, that's amazing. Your wife must be so strong.
She's a trooper. She really is. She is an amazing woman. She's 5'2". I'm not exactly tall. I'm 5'7". But yeah, she managed to get me out of bed, and I sort of over her back, and she just sort of dragged me through to the bathroom.
Wow. So, well, I mean, I guess for her it was either get you off to the bathroom and not have to clean shit off the bed. Oh, geez, mate, that's really rough. Like, OxyContin is pretty crazy stuff.
Yep.
And it is addictive.
It is. And do you know what? What actually got me, I was having another one of those dizzy spells, and I fell out of bed, and my feet hit the floor, and I, sort of like smacked down, and I caught myself between the wall and the bed as I fell. And that seemed to have put something enough back into place that I was able to get back to work. So that was a fortunate accident. And then I had problems from then on. I couldn't get, losing the weight was never going to happen going to a traditional gym, because my back would go out. And that's when I found a yoga system. It's from an ex-wrestler, and I started doing that. And I was probably up to about 137, 135 kilos, somewhere around that. And then I was doing that yoga program. It got me pain-free. It got me moving again, and it got me down to about 127 kilos. And that's where I stayed for probably 5 or 6 years. I didn't gain. If I gained, just sort of sat around that 127 mark.
Yeah. Wow. That's outstanding. Like the fact that it got you moving again, that's a huge achievement in itself. Like,
Yeah,
so what yoga program was that?
DDP Yoga, Diamond Dallas Page.
Wow. Oh, I've
It's for
heard
all
of
you.
that. Yes.
Yes, it's for all the guys out there. It's not now we touch the sky or anything like that. You know, it's we hulk it up. You know, we hit the diamond cutter, bang. You know, it's not all about reaching your inner self. No, you're there. You're hulking it up. You're hitting the diamond cutter. It got me flexible again. It got me more flexible than when I was 16. You know, I could. I haven't done it regularly now for a couple of years, but I could actually bend when I was doing it every day. I could bend down and put my palms to the floor. Now I'm just short of touching my toes because, like I said, I don't do it. I used to do it every day. That's what I did. I did it every day for probably 6 or 12 months, and it got me. It got me mobile again, and I haven't had many back problems since. Big
I will
days.
say this. Oh, sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
mean to cut you off.
No.
Go on.
I was going to just big days like moving the workshop the Thursday, Friday. You know, come the end of the day, I'm sore. But had I tried to do that before then, I would have been,
Back in bed on Oxycontin.
back in bed on Oxy. Correct.
Yeah. Well, that's like, okay. And I will say this, yoga is insane. Like, when the last man challenge was around, I did the yoga workout and it's only 10, 15 minutes and it's just a basic like yoga. And I'm just struggling big time. I was like sweating and breathing. It was crazy. And like, yeah, I've actually watched, a few of those, DDP yogas and, it's pretty intense. So you know what? I actually
Yes.
might give that a go because I'm
I
as
would
flexible
highly
as like a
recommend it.
stick in a blizzard. Right.
Mate, that's how I was too, mate. And I would highly recommend anybody out there, look, give the DDP yoga a shot because it helped me immensely. It got me to a point where that I was able to do things again personally. And if you want an inspirational video to see there, what the video that got me onto DDP yoga was the Arthur DDP yoga. He's an ex-paratrooper that's buggered his knees, buggered his back, and basically the doctors told him he'd never walk again. And he was a big bloke as well. And you just watch that video and see how that turns out at the end. And that's what got me into the DDP. And just finances, because if you do DDP right, it can help you lose weight as well. And it did. It helped me lose about 10 kilos. But then there's a whole eating plan and everything that it's all organic and everything like that. But, having a young family and costs and all of that sort of thing, it's very hard. And I couldn't follow that plan. And like I said, it helped me lose about 8 or 10 kilos just through doing the yoga.
Well, what I'll do is I'll ask you to send me the link to that video, and I'll put it down in the details below so people can take a look at it, and I'll also take a look at it because I honestly need to get my flexibility going. Like I can see my toes now, I can see them. Touching them is another thing. So, but look, so you're around that one. You're just kind of leveling around that 127 mark, and you're going up and down and such like. What took you to the next step? Like, how did you then lose the weight from there?
Okay, so I, excuse me, please. I started. My wife and I were trying to save for a house, trying to pay off our debts, save for a house, and my wife actually we're trying to encourage. This was a few years ago. Trying to encourage our now 22-year-old to get a job. There was a job going at a pub. And so she said, you put your resume in, I'll put my resume in. And, I'll show you what we do and all that sort of thing. And he sent his resume off. My wife sent hers off. And 2 minutes later, she got a phone call saying, would you like to come in and have an interview?
Wow.
So, this is my wife is the toy lady at Big W. She already works out there. And so she said, oh, I'll come out and see what's happening. And so she started working at a pub. And then it was probably about a year after that, I was out there. I used to manage bottle shops back when I was younger. And they said they were short staffed for the bottle shop. And I said, oh, I used to manage bottle shops. And the manager out there, eyes lit up, and she went, oh, would you mind doing a Saturday shift? And I went, yeah, not a problem. We're trying to save for a house. And so I started working, and I was working on a Saturday night with the man, the myth, the legend, Matt Jerd. Now, Matty, back then, when I met Matty, probably it was 3 years ago. I think it's 3 coming up 4, somewhere around that. I'm not sure exactly on time frame. I'd met Matty a few times just through my wife working. She was doing a Tuesday night, a Saturday night, and a Sunday at the pub. So she was working 7 days a week. She was working 5 days at Big W, and then doing a double shift on the Tuesday, and then doing Saturday, Sunday at the pub. And I'd met Matty. Matty's, I don't know if any of you guys out there, I mean, I know you guys have seen Matty, you've seen photos of Matty. Matty's about 6'3", 6'4", probably even a little bit taller. So Matty's a
really
tall guy, and he's also a big guy. Now, Matty would work, so the bottle shop is attached to the pub. So Matty was the supervisor on a Saturday night. So he was the one that when I'd counted the till and everything like that, or he'd come out and he'd take over for me so that I could have my break and all that sort of thing. And then I hadn't seen, shifts got changed, and Matty wasn't the supervisor on a Saturday night anymore. And I had another supervisor coming in and working, and I didn't see Matty for about 6 months. And then my wife was working a Sunday shift, and she was finishing a bit later than what she had been. And then Matty so my wife was finishing at 4. She used to finish at 3, and then she was finishing at 4 on a Sunday. And Matt was coming in then I saw Matty, and Matty had lost a third of his body weight. And I'm like, wow. Holy shit, man. I'm like, well, holy crap. What do you look amazing, man. What are you doing? And Matty's like, oh, I'm trying this thing called the man shake. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, have you heard of it? I'm like, I've seen it. I don't know much about it. What's it all about? He's like, I'm having 2 meals, replace 2 meals a day. I'm having a snack. I'm sure everybody that's had an interaction with Matty on Man Shake Man has seen Matty's daily list that he shares when
every day.
The list that Matty shares. It's the one that I share that too. I've got a screenshot of it, and when people ask me, I just go, this is what my mate's doing, this is what I do, and I just send them that rather than me having to type it all out again. And
whenever I see a new post, it's just like, hey, I'm new here, so I expect commented from Jerd, hey dude, welcome to the page.
Wham. This is what I do. And so Matty told me that, and I'm like, mate, I might as well give this a shot. And so that was about September last year, I think it was. And I just bought myself some new jeans, and I thought I'll give this a shot. And I just went to Coles and got the 10-pack variety from Coles.
Yep.
And so that, I don't know what flavours I was going to like. I thought that was the best way to try a few flavours before going out and buying a big bag. And I'm not in it I'm not racing to the finish line. As I said, I'm 40 this year. I'm not a young man. It's getting harder as I get older I'm not an old man. I'm not a young man though. And it's getting harder to lose weight just naturally. I hit that 30 mark, I buggered me back, and it just kept getting harder and harder. And so I'm not racing to the finish line. I started on the man shakes. And then do you know what? I didn't even record what I lost. I know I lost, I think, 3 to 5 kilos in the first 2 weeks. And then I just kept plodding along, and there was times there where I couldn't afford it. I'd go a week or 2 without having any, and then I'd get more. And then finally I started ordering from I started getting the big packs from the chemist, Bloom's Chemist. is where
Yep,
I was getting some of the big packs from. And they were going well, and I was losing weight, and I'm now down to I'm sitting about 103, I think, at the moment. I don't weigh myself every day because I find that's a bad thing to
misleading.
do. Misleading, because you find your weight all. Because if you're going to weigh yourself at the same time of the day, and try and aim. Just do it weekly. If you're going to do it at all, like if you're going to try and do it regularly, do it weekly and try and weigh yourself on the same day around the same time. So mine is usually about 10 or 11 o'clock on a Saturday if I'm going to weigh myself.
Well, most folks on this channel would know that every Wednesday morning I get up, go to the toilet, and then bang, straight on the scales every Wednesday. Yeah. I don't like the scales daily. Mainly because it can change so much. Like, depending on how dehydrated you are, whether you're feeling sick, whether you're just retaining a bit of water,
exactly.
Yeah, it changes so much, and it can be such a demotivating. Like, it's so demotivating. Like, it's So keep off them scales. But you said you purchased a set of new jeans when you just started.
Yes. So I purchased 3XL jeans. Now I had actually I bought a few cheap pairs, and I went, no, this time I'm going to go and buy these. I'll go and get some better jeans. I bought 2 pairs that I wear to work. They're still the same jeans that I'm wearing now. When I got them, Maddie had spoken to me about it, and I was just about the man shake. I'm like, I'll get these ones. They're a little tight, but I'm doing this man shake. We'll see how it goes. I'm still wearing those jeans. However, if I don't wear a belt, actually it's been this way for a couple of months now. If I don't wear a belt, they just drop to my ankles.
Wow.
they're too loose. Like, I have to wear a belt. I mean, I spent like $70. It's not exactly cheap jeans, but they're not expensive jeans. I spent about $70 a pair, and I'm trying to get my money out of them, but they're too big.
$70 is a lot. Like, in my eyes, like, I don't spend
it's a lot
on
for me,
clothes, obviously.
Yeah.
But speaking of like clothes shopping and all that, like, I mean, and I don't know, like, because you said you're about 130 odd, and I'm not sure whether that would push you into the sizes that classify as the big boy sizes. Did it?
Yes.
Were you? Yeah.
So I was shopping if I'm shopping at a Big W, I think it's Big Joe brand, or is that Kmart? I don't know. Big Joe, I was wearing Big Joe clothes. So I was into 4 or 5 XLs when I was wearing clothes. So that is into the big boy sizes. You can't shop in the normal section. I think big boys. Sorry, go.
Hopefully you're wearing clothes more often than not, there, Jared. But look, But I want to say this, right? How crap is the selection at like your Big W's, your Targets, your Kmarts for the big guy sections?
Mate, I just shop black clothes, to be honest, because that's you've got black jeans, or you've got some beige pants, or your limits were very. They're not a good choice. There's not a huge range, and you're just stuck with what you can get.
The thing that really bothers me, and I have mentioned in a couple of videos now, but like, you get those, the blokes that are a bit bigger are generally tending to be more of the ones that will stay around that kind of weight for a while, and will, be limited for clothes. But they're like, generally most people associate them with being into like that kind of pop culture, be it Star Wars or, rock bands or, other things like that, and would like, be cool to wear shirts like that. All the big range that you see at Big W that are in the up to about 2 or 3 XL, I love all those designs there. They have awesome designs. I can't fit in them. And the thing that bothers me is that the Big W and Target and Kmart, places like that, are so short-sighted that they can't go, all right, well, look, why don't we do this? Instead of having a separate range for big guys, which include Hawaiian shirts and off blues that have athletic fitness written on the front of them, why not just charge them an extra $5 for the extra material, whatever it is, and they can have the same designs as the unwise. And
Yeah.
I know that they would sell a mozzarella. I would
Yes.
seriously go there and buy like 10 shirts tomorrow if they did that.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Because big guys, I don't know about you, but I don't like clothes shopping mainly because, when you wear it, you're heavier, sorry, should I say. I don't like clothes shopping because I feel like an absolute, like less of a human because there's next to no selection for me. And
Yeah.
I will buy a few shirts I will wear till they die, you know?
Yes. Yeah. So
And,
this, my shirt that I'm wearing at the moment, I found that a thing called Loot Crate, which is you can order a box of, I'm a geek, you get your box of nerdy shit and nerdy stuff, and you get shirts in them because they're from America. They actually have some pretty big sizes, so it actually let me get some shirts, some the Bowie in Labyrinth, and I've got a Deadpool shirt in there, and they were bigger shirts that let me get some of that. But trying to find it here in Australia was just a pain in the bum.
but how much did you have to pay for that?
For these? Or for the stuff
for Loot Crate, you had to pay for shipping, and you had to pay for it was a bit extra because it's a US dollar shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think it was costing me. I haven't ordered them for a while now, and this is just a 2XL that I got because I wasn't sure on the American sizing, so I got a 2XL because I know that American sizing sometimes is bigger than what we get here. Exactly. And I think it was about $40. And you get a shirt and you get some geeky stuff and all that sort of thing. And it was pretty good. Excuse me, please. And then, I've got a selection of shirts in there, but that was the only place that I could sort of really find anything that I could actually wear without, like you said, there's not a lot of choice out there, and you got plenty of Hawaiian shirts. Apparently, us big guys, well, we love Hawaiian shirts. Apparently,
we're fat and jolly.
We're fat and jolly. It's what we're meant to wear. Apparently,
we've had to cut here because the Zoom meeting ended, and we've had to come back and set up another meeting. So, have I got you there, Jared? Now
you've got me here now.
So we'll move on from our topic about clothing. Yeah, sorry, it's a bit of a hot topic for me. But what was like? Because Jared got you onto the Man Shake, and you trialed a few of the sample packs. What's your favorite flavor?
Look, I started out when coffee's my favorite out of all of them. I haven't tried the caramel, and I've just got the choc mint, and I'm really enjoying the choc mint. The party cake, Jerdman gave me a sample to try that, and for me that was a bit too sweet. I know it's a lot of people's favorites, but for me, I didn't quite enjoy that as much. Chocolate to start for me wasn't a big one. My eldest son he's a bigger boy as well, and I've been trying to encourage him to get on them. But he's moved out and he's living with mates, and what do you do? I'm trying to be a good influence on him, but he's trying them, but he's not a chocolate fan, and so I was swapping him my strawberries for his chocolates, and I didn't like the chocolate to start with, but after I've had it, and then because I was swapping my strawberries for the chocolates, I was having more of it. It's my second favorite flavor now.
There you go.
It went from being one of the ones I'm just like, oh God, chocolate, to now it's my second favorite. It's like, oh yeah, chocolate. It's like, yeah, I love it now, and it's and I think choc mint rapidly climbing to push chocolate back down again. But I got my first bag of choc mint with my last order, and I've just finished that, and I really enjoyed the choc mint.
Choc mint is mint. Excuse the pun, but it's funny that everyone has all these well, it's not funny. It's just standard. Everyone has different favorites, but the birthday cake, I agree with you. It to me it was very battery. It tastes like drinking batter, and I wasn't a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
Coffee was my favorite as well. I just finished one actually, well, nearly. Yeah, I love banana and strawberry and all that. But have you got any cool like recipes? Like, do you blend them at all, or do you just have the drinks? Or
So normally what I do is I normally just I get my 4 bags from the website these days, and so normally what I'll do is I normally have so I normally start the day with either a coffee or a banana shake. So I just had choc mint and I had banana open. In the cupboard, I've now got a vanilla and I've got coffee in there. So for the last 2 weeks or so, I've been having banana to start the day, so banana smoothie basically. And then for my lunch, I was having my choc mint. And now I've just opened, yesterday morning, I just opened the coffee and the vanilla. So I'll start the day with the coffee and then I'll have the vanilla. But I ended up I had about a scoop left of banana and I had about a scoop left of choc mint. And I went, that was interesting. Banana choc mint was actually quite interesting. And
well, that's the beautiful thing about it. You don't really like one, you can combine it with another and then make it awesome.
Yeah. So I've done vanilla coffee before. That's quite nice. And it's usually I just have a tendency to stick to just the normal plain flavors. But if I'm feeling, like I'm getting down to the end of the bag, I'll just sort of mix them up a little and see what combinations I come up with. Chocolate and vanilla's okay. Banana and chocolate's a good one. I just have a tendency to just stick with the main ones. But when I get to the end of the bag, I'll just mix those last couple of scoops up just to see what flavor combinations you can come up with. So choc banana's very good.
The people that would be on my channel may know that I've done a couple of things with the man shake in the kitchen, and the vanilla and the chocolate flavors are fantastic for doing that. I made a mango Weiss flavored man shake, which I got off the Man Shake Men page, but yeah, it just involves a few cubes of frozen mango, some coconut oil, vanilla man shake. I think there was something else in there, but it just tasted exactly like a mango Weiss bar, which was awesome. But the flavors are like they mix so well that you can do all sorts of things with them. But
I've just downloaded a few of the recipes from the. I did that last weekend. I printed out. I just printed out a few of the recipes, and I'm actually planning on probably cooking a few of those with my daughter sometime in the next couple of weeks, and see what we can come up with and see what the awesome flavors and healthy food that we can make with the man shake from the website. So that's something because last weekend I was going to do it last weekend, but the wife my daughter ended up wanting to make Anzac cookies, with it being Anzac weekend last weekend. So we made Anzac cookies, and then this weekend I just haven't had a chance to. And so it was something I had planned on doing last weekend, but it didn't pan out that way, unfortunately. So it looks like it'll be next weekend.
Oh well, you're busy, man. So much you can do. But so coming back to how you gain the weight. Like, I mean, what was your vice? Like, what caused that weight gain? Because you said that you gained a bunch of weight when you were off your legs because you did your back.
Yeah.
But what did it? Like, what was the food? Did you drink it or what?
So I used to drink about 13 cups of coffee a day.
Wow.
And I have like I bought it. It got dropped actually on Friday, and it's a Gloria Jean's coffee mug, and it's a big mug, and it's about a mug and a half. And I normally have 2 sugars in my coffee. I still do, but I only have 1 coffee a day these days. It's just when I get up to go to work, I've still got this big Gloria Jean's travel mug. And it got a crack on Friday. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to replace it. But it's a mug and a half, so I put 3 sugars in it. When you're having 13 odd coffee cups a day of 3 sugars. That's a lot of sugar, you know.
Yeah.
And then takeaway. Just we'd get takeaway a couple of times a week, or chips. I'd come home from work and I'd you grab chips out of the cupboard and chocolates and it was just all in all just general bad choices and quantities. I haven't cut anything out of my diet. I've just cut down the quantities. If I feel like having a couple of lollies, I'll have a couple of lollies. This is why I say I'm not in it. It's not a race for me. It's a marathon. And if I feel like having a couple of lollies, I'll have a couple of lollies, but I'm not eating half a bag like I used to. If I want some chocolate, I'll have some chocolate, but I'll eat a strip, not half a block. And it's just, and so after I started the DDP Yoga, I ended up going down to about 6 coffees a day. And that was just the job that I was working in. And then I dropped it down to about 3 or 4 a day. Now I have 1. I might have 2 a day with this move, with the workshops. The last couple of days, the boys have been grabbing coffees and they've just been grabbing one for me as well. So I've had extra coffees over the last, but I've only been having 1 sugar in those, but cappuccino. So I've probably blown out a little bit this weekend on my what I should have been having. But I've also been doing a little bit more physical work than I normally do with moving stuff as well. So I think my coffees were a big thing, and then quantities of the food that I was eating. It was all bad choices. No doubt about it.
For a bloke like you, you're looking pretty trim at the moment, because I've seen those before and afters. You're looking really good, mate. Good job.
Thank you.
Like now I think for you, it's a lot about moderation and kind of learning to maintain it and not blow out again. And having those extra coffees, if you're out doing it by physical activity, like it really honestly wouldn't be that bad for you.
No, not so much these days, but I think I'm at a point now where I do need to. I haven't the 22 to 24 kilos that I've lost now, because I weighed myself a couple of weeks ago and I'd lost 24 kilos. I was down 24 kilos now, and I think now I'm at a point where I actually need to start exercising. I haven't done any extra exercise. I've done 0 extra exercise to lose that first 22 kilos, or 22 to 24. As I said, I've had those extra coffees and stuff over this week, and I haven't weighed myself again. So I'm guessing I'm probably still sitting around that 24 mark. But I think I'm at a point where I probably will need to start doing a little bit of exercise, and I'm hoping that I haven't tried doing exercise since I've been doing the DDP Yoga. That was the only exercise that I was doing. And I think it might be time for me now to actually start to help break that 100 mark. I think I am going to have to start doing a little bit of exercise. We've got a rowing machine downstairs. We've got a treadmill. I was always too heavy for the treadmill. It had a 120 kilo weight limit on it. And so I was always too heavy for it. And I didn't, we bought it, and the wife, and she's like, oh, no, you should be able to. I'm like, no, I don't want to. We've spent $500 on this treadmill. I don't want to go busting it. I've got to lose the weight first. And I think it's time now that I actually really do need to start exercising as well. And that's just more for my own personal. I don't think I'm feeling good. I'm back down to near that 100, but I think I do need to add some exercise now, because my weight loss has significantly slowed down. I've been sitting around that 22 kilos to 24 kilos now for a month or so, and I haven't shifted much further down. Like when you first start the Man Shake, you'll find that your weight drops fairly rapidly, because you're getting rid of a lot of that excess fluids and everything like that. And then you'll find that you'll plateau. And I think I'm at a point where I've plateaued, and I actually need to now kick my body into motion as well, and do a little bit of exercise. So we've got the rowing machine down there, and we've got the treadmill, and I'm thinking I might start that and see how much better that's going to be for me as well, just in general fitness. Not just weight loss.
Oh, sorry, but I will say that most fitness channels and people around the fitness world will say that it's 80% your diet to 20% exercise for weight loss. And from everyone
Yes.
I've spoken to so far on Fat Chat, they've really done bugger all actual physical activity to lose sometimes tremendous amount of weight. And the I think a lot of the problem with the weight loss culture at the moment is that you always see videos, whether it be on The Biggest Loser or YouTube or all sorts of TV shows, where people are slogging it out in the gym. They're making like weight loss look really difficult, when really it just takes a few minor changes and maybe just like a little bit of walking a day to really
Yes.
kickstart your body to lose that weight. And there's a real science behind it all. And you'll break through that plateau, but you may need to just focus for a week on making sure that your meals are,
Spot
bang,
on
bang, 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 bang.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
It's the and that's a little bit with that Anzac last weekend. I had a few Anzac cookies. My wife and my daughter made them, and I had a couple of Anzac cookies. And then moving this week, I've done that little bit of extra physical work in moving the workshop and whatnot. But I've had those extra coffees, and it's those little things that you do that sort of need to keep a track of. When you are trying to lose weight, that you do sort of need to pay attention to what you are eating. And a little bit of, I think now, if I went back to my DDP Yoga and a little bit of the rowing machine down there, or the treadmill, even 20 minutes a day, that's what I did the 10 years. I was doing the DDP Yoga, and I was doing about 20 minutes. I'd get up in the morning, I'd go and do my DDP Yoga. I'd get up half an hour early, I'd do my DDP Yoga, and then I'd go and have a shower, and then I'd go to work. And that's how I lost 10 kilos. And so that was, I think I might need to start doing something like that again, because I've slowed down.
So am I, Jared, and I don't want to be out of line here, but can I throw you a bit of a challenge? Maybe
Sure.
over the next week or two, like really kind of get everything aligned there. And I'd love to hear an update on what you've lost, if you've managed to lose any, by pushing through that barrier. Like, am I able to throw you a bit of a challenge to do that?
All right. Well, I think I should be able to do that. I know that this week I've got to make sure my daughter stays on her homeschooling work a bit better. And she hasn't submitted as much as what she should. So it's probably a good thing for me to add those two to this week's schedule and see what we can come up with. Make sure my daughter does her schoolwork, and actually, instead of just believing her when she says, like, Chooky, you're right, do you need any help? No, I'm good. And then finding out that, she hasn't done as much as what she should have been doing. And then maybe adding in 20 minutes a day of exercise. And let's see where I am in a week or two.
Great. Well, I'm going to put a great big banner here. Challenge accepted. Good job, mate. I'll put you on the spot for that one, so I appreciate it.
No, not a problem.
Well, mate, if you could give any advice to people that are looking to start their journey, like really like teetering on that edge, what would you say to them?
Give it a shot, honestly. I saw Jared Man doing... I hadn't seen him for 6 months, and he'd lost a third of his weight. And he said to me, he's like, what have you got to lose? Just give it a shot. So I did. And I'm going to say the same thing to anybody out there that's on the edge, that's thinking about doing it. Give it a shot. It's a little bit of the meals. If you buy them in the variety packs from Coles, they're about $36. It's $3.60 a meal when you do it that way. It's $7.20 a day on meals, and that's a meal replacement. That's not, so have your shake, then have a snack, and then a shake, and then a snack at 4, and then a smaller dinner. Just cut down the quantity on your dinner. Give yourself the best shot that you can. Do 2 shakes a day. Drink plenty of water. Trust me, drink plenty of water. Make sure you drink plenty of water. There's a side effect of the man shake, which you can find yourself a little bit blocked up, but drinking water fixes that. But honestly, give yourself the best shot that you can and just try it. it's changed my life. I've gone from 127 kilos. I'm back down to the weight before I'd down to, 100 between 100 and 103 now. And it's the weight I was before I had my car accident. And
That's so good.
It's the best I've felt in years. I'm sleeping better at night. It's easier to get up in the morning. I haven't cut anything out of my diet. Just limit the quantities that you have. And honestly, just go out on a limb and try it. It really has changed my life, and it could change your life too. Just
Look,
just do it.
yeah, exactly right. And I want to finish off that thought. So if for anyone out there that is kind of thinking about getting on their journey, and whether it be on the Man Shake or not, I recommend you just jumping on the Man Shake Men page and having a look at all the posts that are posted there, like daily, from people that have just started or halfway through their journey, or just smash their goals. Because the inspiration that I drew from that page and the support that I got from that page and still get has just been the world of difference to me, being somewhat successful and still on my journey to me quitting after a week or two. And it's just that difference of having people there to help you can be make or break.
Do you know what? We have another mate that works at the pub. His name's Sean, and he's on the Man Shake Men page as well. And he was losing a little bit of faith, and he put up that he'd lost some weight. And then Jerdman and myself commented, and a whole bunch of other people commented. And then I spoke to him afterwards, and he said, mate, it just gave me the pickup that I needed to keep going. So, like Ash has said, just if you join the Man Shake Men group, because the guys in there are a really great group of guys. They've got your back. I can tell you that now. If you're struggling, or if you need a help, or, even after you've been on there yourself for a while, if you find somebody that's struggling and needs help, just reach out to them, ask them if there's anything that they can do to help. Because it's a great bunch of guys. And
for all those ladies out there, there's also a ladies page. There's a lady shake page.
Yes.
So ladies, you're not in alone as well. So
yes, no, and it's all a great group of people, and it's people like you and me that are just out there on their journey, that are at their varying stages. People like you said, people that are just starting, people halfway through, like myself. Jerdman, who's 82 kilos down. He looks amazing, and he's smashing it. And the people out there, they're just there to help, and you can get help from whether you need to help or you want to help other people. And this is why I've agreed to help, to help you today, or come on and have a chat with you today, because Jerdman inspired me. If I can inspire just one person to make a healthy change for their own good, that would mean the world to me. If I can inspire one person to change, then that would be enough for me.
Yeah, you'll be amazed, and like how much people will take from a chat like that we've had today. And for that, I really do appreciate you coming on and taking the time out of your day, because this does take a bit of time out of your day to have a sit down chat with someone, especially when the meeting gets cancelled halfway through. I don't know what happened there. Thanks, Zoom. I might need to upgrade to that pro package. But look, it's been so good having a chat with you today, and I can tell that you and Jared are very much on the same level in terms of your aptitude, attitude, and everything you have going for you. So I know that you will break through that plateau and get to the next level.
Yeah, that's the aim, and having people like yourself and Jerdman there to help encourage me and see, and it's an amazing help, and I appreciate everything, and I appreciate you taking the time and asking me whether I wanted to come on today. It's meant a lot to me, And I'd like to thank you and the videos that you're putting out.
Look, if anyone wants to, support me on my channel, just feel free to hit that little subscribe button. Throw us a like or comment below. If you have any questions for Jared or even for myself, just pop them down in the comments. I'm also on Instagram, and you can find me on the Man Shake Man page. And I'm happy to have a chat to anyone because everyone has a story to tell. So, but honestly, Jared, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for being on an episode of Fat Chat. I will be checking in with you in a couple of weeks' time, see how you're doing.
Yes.
And I'm sure we'll be hearing about your success. But look, don't feel pressured. And if it's not successful, then hey, let's.
It is what it is, and mate, I accept the challenge, and I'll do my best to. I want to smash that. I want to see those double digits. So it's been a long time since I've seen double digits on the scales.
So
and
what are you at now?
Last time I weighed myself, I was 103. So
I'll put it up here, 103. So
yes.
Let's see what he can do in a few weeks. But look, Jared, thank you so much. We'll leave it at that. Thank you for everyone for your time today and sticking around watching the video to the end. And you have yourself a great day. See you guys.
Remember, like and subscribe.